And you're welcome back for a big report where we have Emmanuel Bagudu on standby. He is at Kaduna State, the capital of Kaduna there, and he wants to talk to us about his visit to the family of the slain Zaria teenager at Samaru-Zaria, which is, Emmanuel, thank you so much for coming on. Samaru is a predominantly student area right next to the Ahmadu Bello University, but a very sad situation indeed. Share with me the behind the scenes of just visiting the family and speaking to the father of the slain boy.
Yes, Samaru is quite calm now. Of course, you just mentioned it that, of course, it hosts the famous Ahmadu Bello University area. And I can tell you that where that event happened, where that incident happened, unfortunately incident happened, is just like just few treks to the north gate of ABU. And we had an opportunity of going into ABU. I visited Amina Hostel, I visited Suleiman, I visited Hiksa. We spoke to students, and they told us that they were terrified, haven't seen the news, and they were told to just stay in their hostel, not to come out of the main gate because they don't know what's going to happen. So it's so unfortunate, and the aftermath of that incident is actually making the whole news within that axis so terrifying. Okay. So but we thank God that, of course, the curfew have been relaxed. I was there yesterday. The curfew was relaxed, and then life is back to normal. But of course, the aftermath of that incident is still, lingering in the minds of both students of the university and then, of course, locals. Yeah. And don't forget, that road leads you to Katsina, Zamfara, and then, of course, Sokoto. So it's a major road. So you should expect a lot of, fears, and then, of course, threats while people are traveling. Yeah.
Emmanuel, let's talk about your visits to the family of the teenager that was slain. Let's talk about responsibility. We heard over the week about some sort of compensation, but your report also gave a little bit of light during the week. Do tell us exactly what was given to the parent of the slain boy and what was it supposed to be for, and what's come out of the military. Have they claimed responsibility?
Yes, the rumor about compensation came out on Twitter, Facebook, and all that, that the family of Ismail Muhammed were given 300,000 naira compensation. That the father, his name is Hussein Muhammad, received 300,000 naira compensation. Those are just fake news. Those are just lies on social media. You saw the video we shared. The man specifically told us that he was not given any compensation. The GOC Division 1 just came to pay condolence and say, take 300,000 naira. In our local parlance, take 300 naira and buy water for visitors. As simple as that. Right. And then some people snapped it and were sharing on social media saying that the man would receive 300,000 naira compensation from the Nigerian Army, which is so malicious, so irresponsible of some Nigerians to say that. 300,000 naira for a human life is not... It's not something to talk about. It's very bad. For someone to even post that on social media, they should have a rethink. Yeah, so there was no compensation. He made it clear there was no compensation. They are still in the talking stage. On Thursday, the combined, convoy of military soldiers and, of course, military police came in to pick them for a meeting. They had a meeting with the Nigerian Army Corps of Military Police. That's the arm responsible for court-martial when they suspect that a military officer, committed a crime. So that arm is currently conducting an investigation about the issue, and then they told the family of Ismail Muhammed that they are going to get back to them and going to let them know how they are progressing in the investigation. So that is what we'll be tracking, because in Nigeria, when they say we'll get back to you, you have to have a rethink. So we're tracking that. We'll get back to you statement from the army.
Emmanuel, I have to ask about the 16-year-old boy. Can you tell us a little bit about Ismail Muhammed? Because we're pressed for time, but just a little bit more about the child that have now died.
Sorry, I didn't get that question again, please.
I was saying to tell us a bit more about Ismail. He's 16 years old. That's all we know. Can you tell us, was the family able to talk to you about the child, what he was like, what he loved to do, school, anything?
Okay, if I get a question right, you want me to speak to you about what they told me about the life and times of the disease?
Exactly.
Ismail Muhammad, right?
Yes.
Yes. We spoke to the father. He told us very well that he's a 16-year-old boy, very industrious, very obedient. He was in his house when the bullet met him. Because, of course, we showed you the video where the bullet, penetrated into the gate of the house, main gate of the house, into the room where he was coming out to shut the door, and the bullet met him. He was in JSS 3, Junior Secondary School 3, about going to SS1. And he's a tailor. We showed you that video where the father told us that the clothes he's wearing, it is Ismail that suit the clothes. He was a good boy. He never protested. The father categorically told us that there was not even a protest in Samaru. There was no protest in Samaru. Since day one of the hashtag End Bad Governance protest, Samaru people in Zaria didn't protest. That's what the community told us. And so there was no reason for Ismail to say he wants to go and protest, let alone throw stones at the soldiers. Contrary to what the statement of Army said, that the youth were burning tires and throwing stones on soldiers, and then in a bid to shoot a warning shot, the bullet now met Ismail, and Ismail died. That was what the Army said. But the categorically told us that there was no protest. And then, of course, Ismail was a good boy. He has never protested. His movement was just between his house and his tailoring shop, where he sew clothes, and make some money for himself and for his family. So those were the words we got from the family members in Samaru-Zaria, yeah.
Well, Emmanuel, I must say thank you so far. From what I can see behind you, it seems like movement is continuing there, and it's very peaceful where you are at Kaduna. We're going to come back to you for more live updates during the course of the program today. But Emmanuel, appreciate you for doing this. Again, our heart goes out to the family of the Muhammad family, and that's his father, Husseini Muhammad, his mother and siblings during this very trying time. Again, Emmanuel, many thanks.
Thank you, Emmanuel.